Hi everyone, today I'll be walking you through one of ChargeOver's available features, hosted sign-up pages. Hosted sign-up pages are useful if you want to allow your customers to purchase products you have in ChargeOver, but from the familiarity of your home website. I'm going to cover how to enable hosted sign-up pages in ChargeOver, what a hosted sign-up form looks like, as well as the settings you can use to customize your hosted sign-up form, and then I'll show you what a customer might experience when signing up for a product this way. So from the dashboard, you'll go to your settings, your features tab, and then I already have it enabled, but if you do not, you can go to more features and then just search for hosted sign-up pages. So once you get it enabled, you're going to see this page, and there's going to be one form that will be automatically created for you. If you click Get Sign Up Form link, you'll see all of your existing products in ChargeOver here. And then there's also going to be an option if you didn't want to have your customer sign up for a specific product, you can actually just gather their information but nothing else. So that's an option at the very bottom of your product list. If you select a product, you're going to get two different links. You're going to have a just a normal sign up link, and then you'll see an HTML link that you guys can embed on your website, and that is how you would get it to your home site, as I mentioned previously. So for now, I'm just going to use the regular sign up link to show you guys what a form could look like. So we see the product name, the description, the amount, the quantity, and then an option to enter in a coupon code. I'm asking just for some basic information here, the billing address, and then payment details. And then another thing I wanted to point out here is that if you guys do have processing fees enabled, they are going to show at the bottom here to let the customer know that they'll be charged an extra fee. Okay, so if we go back to your hosted sign-up pages, I'm just going to show you guys how you can customize them a little bit more. Right now, the form template that I was showing you is the default template, and I'll show you guys what the clean template looks like a little bit later on. So for now, there's three different options to choose from when you're looking at all of these options here. There's a required field, an optional, and then a no. So if you guys want to require your customers to fill out certain information before they're able to check out, you can select the required option. If you don't want some information to show on the form at all, you can select no, and then you can even select optional if you want. One thing that I am going to point out here too is your custom fields for customers and subscriptions will be available to show on these forms if you wanted to. And then if we look at the form actions down here, after the customer signs up, we can automatically send a welcome email or a payment receipt, depending on what you guys want there. And then we can also redirect the customer to a different URL after you sign up. So if you have a different page that you want them to go to, besides just the generic thank you for signing up, that's fine. You can allow coupon codes. You can prorate new signups. You can require terms and conditions, which I'll show you on the clean form a little bit later. And then you can also allow signups for quantities greater than one, which is why on this form the customer can adjust that quantity box to whatever they want. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the clean template really fast so I can show you guys the terms and conditions page. So that is on my second hosted sign-up page. So I'll grab a link for the same product I was looking at. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit different, set up a little bit differently. This, I think, shows a similar setup to what other companies have on their checkout pages. Everything's kind of on the right-hand side as far as like product information, quantity, terms and conditions. If you're checking out on your phone or something, This is how I would imagine it would look. The information is kind of all the same. I'm requiring the same information here. I'll still see the processing fee banner if I do have processing fees enabled. And then as you can see, the quantity is grayed out here. So I'm going to get back to that in a second. But I wanted to point out the terms and conditions that are set here. This is where if you wanted to, have specifications or warn the customers about something before they sign up, and you want them to agree to those terms and conditions before they click the sign up button, then this is where that would live. If I go back to this form, you can see where I put in the text for the terms and conditions statement. And then there's also an option, if you didn't want to write out, have all the text there, you could also just redirect the customer to a URL that takes them to your terms and conditions page. So kind of have some options there if you wanted to. I'm actually going to go to the products tab now to show you guys why this quantity is grayed out. So I'll click into the product itself, the edit tab, and then I'll click more options. So here there's an option on each and every product you guys have, and it's a default number of times to reoccur. So if I hover over this, it's the number of billing cycles this plan will reoccur for on a subscription. In terms of the hosted sign-up page, what this will do is it'll force the form to create a one-time invoice and not a subscription, because we only want the product to be charged once. That's what ChargeOver is going to follow, is it's just going to create a one-time invoice. So if you want to do that, you could just put a 1 on your product here, and then the page would produce a one-time invoice for you. Another thing I wanted to point out here is that each product has a hosted sign-up form link on it. So to make your workflow go a little bit faster, you could just go to the product itself and then find the links that you saw in the hosted sign-up page settings as well. So like I said, multiple options here on where to find these things. So now I'm going to go to the checkout page again, and I'm just going to fill in information like a client would. So I'm going to pause this, and then I can show you what happens. Okay, so all the information is now filled out. I'm going to check out. It's going to take a second to think. And then this is the generic page that a customer would see if you did not have a redirect or a URL to redirect them to. So just kind of shows the company that they're buying from, which is me, and then their payment details, the card that was used, and then their information. So if we go back to the customers tab in ChargeOver, I should see this new customer right here. If I click into them, you can see that all the information that I filled out on the hosted signup form is here. And then I should expect a one-time invoice to have been created. So I'll go to the invoices tab on the customer, and it's right there. So it has the product. It only created a one-time invoice because the product was set to only reoccur one time. And then my processing fee for credit cards also applied to this invoice as well. So this is basically the end result of a customer sign up on a hosted sign up page. So what I went over today, just did a brief overview on hosted sign up pages. We went over how to enable hosted sign up pages, went over what they looked like, what settings you could use to mess around with and customize your pages. And then finally, I showed you what the checkout process can look like and feel like for your customers, and how all that information is saved in ChargeOver after the fact. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to our support team at support@chargeover.com, and thank you for watching.